Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. It's me, Vicky, again. Okay, in this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to practice accents. So I did this with some of my students last week, and I realised it's actually very useful, or I think it's very useful. So accents, of course, are difficult because in English, we don't really have, I don't think we have any accents, do we? You know, other European languages do have some accents, but of course they're different from the Spanish accents, and I think actually in English we don't have any. If I'm wrong, please correct me in comments. Okay, so they're a problem, because anything that we don't have in our own language is always a problem when we come to learn a different language. And to be perfectly honest, probably the first 2 years that I was learning Spanish, if not longer, I just ignored accents because I couldn't really get my head around them. A bit like the subjunctive. So, and then of course you get to a point where you realise they are really, really important, and you probably should know them from day one. And you know, especially being a Spanish teacher, you do need to know something about them. So basically, what are accents, and what is the purpose of accents? So obviously an accent tells us a pronunciation change. For example, the accent that we have over the N, the enye, with the tilde over the top, of course it's a completely different pronunciation to the ene. Yeah, so from ene is one letter and enye is a different letter. So that's one kind of accent in Spanish. But then these little ticks that we get above vowels, they're always vowels. What are they for? You know, and what's the purpose of them? So there are two purposes of accents. So the first purpose is to tell us where to stress the word if it's not where we normally stress the word. So for example, maybe you know, but any word in Spanish that ends in a vowel, either A, E, I, O, U, or an N or an S, is stressed on the last but one syllable when we say the word. So, what's a syllable? Remember syllables? I don't know if you ever watched Give Us a Clue years ago. But syllables are the parts of a word. So all words are broken down into syllables. And the second to last syllable of any word that ends in a vowel or an N or an S is normally where we stress a word in Spanish. Now, any exception to that, to tell us not to stress it there but to stress it somewhere else, we put an accent, or there is an accent, and that's what it's there for, to tell us, no, don't stress it on the last but one syllable, stress it on this vowel where this accent is. Now, any other word apart from a word that ends in a vowel or an N or an S is stressed on the last syllable. That's the natural pronunciation. So now I can tell you from experience that if you although pronunciation in Spanish is not the most difficult thing out of learning Spanish, because it is a phonetic pronunciation. So once you learn how things are pronounced, they're always pronounced the same. This means, though, however, that if you do pronounce it just that one little bit wrong, you won't be understood. So it's very important, you know, to know what the accents mean, to know where to stress the word, because, you know, you find your word, and if you go out there, you know, because you're intending to try and do something, so you look everything up to be prepared, you're doing the right thing, trying to ask for it in Spanish rather than just saying hables inglés or whatever. So and then you don't pronounce it right and they don't understand you, and it knocks your confidence. So pronunciation is very important. So what are we going to do? Oh, and let me also add, there is another purpose of an accent which won't come up in this. If you have two words that are spelt the same but have different meanings, which is rare in Spanish, but if there is, like el, which can be he, or it can be the. El can be he or the. So el for he has an accent on the E, and el for the doesn't have any accent. Now there's no other way you can pronounce those words, they're too short. But just to let you know that, so there's sometimes you'll see a word like that, which has two different meanings, and the tu is another one, tu. Tu can mean you or it can mean your. When it means you, it's got an accent over the top of the U, and when it means your, it has no accent. So that's the other purpose of accents. But those will be normally very short words that can't be pronounced any differently. So we're looking particularly at how it changes the pronunciation by changing the syllable that we stress. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out some words. Some have accents, some don't have accents. So they don't all have an accent. At the end, I will tell you how many have accents. And then also I will explain to you, I'll spell out the words to you, and I will say if they have an accent or not, and I will tell you what they mean. But I'm not putting anything in the description box because I want you to try and do it listening, not reading. So I'll leave a gap. Hopefully we can do this as if we're in class. I read the word, you write it down as you think it's spelt and think about whether you think it has an accent or not. And then I'll move on. I'm going to read 10 words, okay? At the end I will repeat them. Okay, so I'll read them out once first of all, and then repeat them at the end, and then we'll go through the spelling, etc. And we'll see not only how well you've done on the spelling. Now, spelling in Spanish shouldn't be too difficult, but the accents can be tricky. So let's see how we get on. Okay, so you need a pen and some paper. Hopefully you've got some to hand. If not, you can pause the video and come back when you do. And I'm going to start now. Okay, so numero uno, lámpara. Lámpara. Okay. Now, a good idea in Spanish is if you don't know how to spell something, even after you've listened to it a couple of times and you still don't know how to spell it, just write it down as it sounds. As it sounds to you, write down. This will help you, even if it's wrong. Don't worry about getting things wrong. If you could get everything right, you wouldn't need to be watching these videos. You wouldn't need any Spanish classes. So, yeah, don't worry about getting it wrong. Just write down, because that will help you with listening. If you write down as you think it sounds, when you actually see the word and you'll think, oh, that's how that's pronounced. So don't be scared of saying it wrong, writing it down wrongly. And if you're not sure what to write, just put something. It's just something is better than anything. Don't know if you remember that at school. That's what my teachers used to say in exams. Don't leave it blank. Write something is better than nothing. Okay, so I just realised I've spelt this word wrong in English for later when I think my English spelling since I learned Spanish has gone completely out the window. But anyway, okay, so numero dos, cucaracha. Cucaracha. We all love those, don't we? Numero tres, música. Música. Número 4, teclado. Teclado. Número 5, también. También. Número 6, ventilador. Ventilador. Número 7, catálogo. Catálogo. Número 8, corazón. Corazón. Número 9, exportación, exportación. Y número 10, the old favorite, ayuntamiento, ayuntamiento. Okay, so I'm going to repeat them all, and then I'm going to tell you how many have accents, but obviously not the ones that have accents. So, lámpara, cucaracha, música, teclado, también, ventilador, catálogo, corazón. Número 9, exportación. Y número 10, ayuntamiento. Okay, so I'll just give you a couple of minutes to have a look at them. Think about your spellings. And I'm going to count how many have accents. Six of those words that I read out to you have accents. Okay? So let's see which ones. So, número 1, which was lámpara. So, lámpara. And how do we spell it? L-A-M-P-A-R-A. And yes, there is an accent on the first A. If we didn't have an accent in this word, it would be lampara, because the stress would be on the second A, from the end, second syllable from the end, the penultimate syllable. Lampara, not lampara. Okay, did you get that right? Número 2 was cucaracha. C-U-C-A-R-A-C-H-A. Ooh, cockroach. No accent. Cucaracha. And I don't know about you, but it's been a lot this year. And big. They seem bigger. It's been the lockdown. They're carrying some lockdown weight, the cockroaches, this year. Oh, okay. So the next one was musica, which is music. And we do have an accent on this one, on the U, because otherwise it would be musica. So it's musica. M-U-S-I-C-A. Nice, easy word that means music. Número 4, which was teclado. T-E-C-L-A-D-O. Keyboard. No accent. Número 5, también, which means also. T-A-M-B-I-E-N. Accent on the E, on the E at the end, también. Y número 6, something we need at the moment because it's so hot, ventilador. So a ventilador is a fan. It's also a ventilator. So V-E-N-T-I-L-A-D-O-R, no accent. Now this is a favourite of mine because I had a problem with this word once. Catálogo, which is a catalogue. Now, C-A-T-O-L-O-G-O. Now, it didn't have an accent, it would be catalogo. And I had a very frustrating conversation a few years ago with an ex-boyfriend of mine who's Spanish, trying to say to him, I had the catalogue in my hand, and I'm saying, the catalogo, el catalogo. And he's going, Okay, and he just couldn't get what I was saying, even though I was actually showing it him, because I was saying catalogo and not catalogo. Just that little difference made the difference between being understood or not. So it's te, a, te, o, l, o, ge, o. Always a good time to practice your alphabet pronunciation. I think at the end I might put the link to the alphabet videos, because time goes on, and even if you've got to a good level in Spanish, you forget sometimes if you haven't used your alphabet, so it's always good to go back over it. Okay, número 8, corazón, heart, or it also can mean sweetheart. If someone calls you corazón, then that's nice. It's a nice way to refer to someone. So it's C-O-R-A-Z-O-N and an accent on the O, corazón. That's where our stress is, on the last syllable. And it, as I say, it means heart or sweetheart. Número 9 y 10 son palabras largas. So these are two quite long words, the last two. Número 9, exportación. So exportation. So exportación con acento N, exportación. And número 10, I love this word, and everyone has problems with it. So we to say it, break it down into syllables. Ayuntamiento. Ayuntamiento. If you say it slowly to start, and then gradually you will get quicker and quicker with it. Ayuntamiento. No accents, and that of course means town hall. So certainly if you live in Spain, really you've got to get your mouth around this word. Okay, so how did you do? Did you get all the accents right? Did you get all the spellings correct? Anyway, I hope so. So just something a little bit different to help you with pronunciation. If there's any, as usual, if there's anything you'd like me to discuss in a video that you'd like to have explained, please let me know in comments or any of the contact details below. And I'll be happy to make a video to help you out with the explanation. Yeah, that's it. So don't forget about the offers for the summer. They'll all be listed, well, not the offers listed below, but they're on my Facebook page, social media, all my social media pages. Don't forget the Break the Language Barrier series of books, and the dual language storybooks are only $3.99 on Amazon at the moment. So if you found this video useful, por favor, give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. So, muchas gracias. Te veo en el próximo video. Gracias.